Hello, what's up, guys? Today we are going to start making the game that I showed you in the last episode. First of all, let's open Unity Hub. Then press new project, and let's name it Advanture game. Template is 3D, and you can choose any place that you want, and hit create project. And now that Unity is opened, go to the asset store. If you don't have the window, uh, you can click in the window and choose asset store, or you can press Control 9. And when the asset store is opened, go to the search and write Lady Fairy. So let's scroll down, open Lady Fairy. I've downloaded already, so I'll just hit import. So first we are going to make a plane. Let's reset it. And then we're going to make an empty game object that will be our player. And we will reset it. Now we are going to put Lady Fairy in the player. We'll add some components. Capsule, collider, and rigid body. We'll put Lady Fairy in the center of the player. I think that's good. And then we are going to make the first script, which will be character movement. Let's open it in Visual Studio for editing. So now we'll add some variables and some reference. First, game object. We'll call it child, and this is going to be the child game object, which is the mesh for Lady Fairy, which will have the animator with it. So animator, anim, we'll add some float variables. Float, it's going to be speed, and another one, float angular speed. This is the speed that the player will rotate with, and this is the speed that he is going to move by. So now we'll make our reference, anim equal get component, and children animator, because we're going to make a reference for the animator in the child game object. Then child equal anim dot game object. So no matter what object has the animator, we're going to take the game object for it. Next, we're going to make some float horizontal equal input dot get axis horizontal, and you can find this in the edit project settings, input horizontal, and you have to write it like this here in the string. Next, float vertical input dot get axis vertical. Next we need to set our direction, so vector 3 direction equal transform dot forward. So this is the forward direction for the player, so if he's looking this direction, this is the forward direction, multiply by vertical multiply by time dot delta time to make it smoother, multiply by speed, and we will add transform dot right, and as you guessed it, it's the right vector 3 for the player, and now it's the x-axis. So this is multiplied by horizontal multiply by time to delta time multiplied by speed. So now we will just add it to transform dot position. We'll save it, go to Unity, but first we need to move this mesh collider, and we'll remove the controller for the player because we're going to change it. Hit play, and as you can see, the player is moving around. So now we're going to add the rotation. So now we'll make a quaternion, and if you don't know quaternion, it's the best way to deal with rotation in Unity. So this is the look direction which it will equal quaternion dot lerb. Lerb is a function that makes the rotation smoother. So child dot transform dot rotation, and then we'll add quaternion dot look rotation. We'll look at the direction. So we're going to change the child rotation from its main rotation to a new rotation that's the direction it's moving on. So if it's moving right, the Lady Faye will look in the right, and if it's moving in the left, Lady Faye will look at the left. So, and we will make it smoother by time delta time multiplied by angular speed, and then we will just pass the lock rotation child transform rotation equal look direction. Save it, go to Unity, so now as you can see, the player can rotate, and it's very good with the smooth by the lerb function. But as you can see, when we don't move at all, it will always look in the same direction here, because it's going when we don't move, the horizontal and vertical are equal to 0, and so on. The direction will change because it depends on the vertical and horizontal. It will be 0 too, so it will look at the 0y axis. So in order to fix this, we are going just to change the rotation when the player is actually moving. So if mathf dot absolute, this is going to take the absolute value of horizontal, is greater than 0.1f, or mathf dot absolute for the vertical is greater than 0.1f. So from this if statement, if the absolute value of the horizontal, no matter if it's negative or positive, is greater than 0.1f, that means the character is moving. So we want to change the rotation. Now if we save it and go to Unity, as you can see, when we don't move, it's still the same rotation, nothing changed, and that's exactly what we want. So the only thing left is the animation. So we're going to create animator controller. We'll call it player animator, and we will put it here in the controller, and we will open it. So we'll add a new blend tree. The blend tree is a way in the animator to make the walk and running animation depending on float values. We'll call it speed. Go to the blend tree. We need the blend type to be 1D, doesn't matter. We're going to add just 2 new animation. The first is the idle. When we don't move, the speed is 0, we're going to stay in the idle. And when we move, we're going to set the walk animation. So if we start here, you can see the animation. If we change the value of the speed, she's moving. So yeah. Now we're going to set the script. So anim, we already take the reference. Dot set float. The float is speed. So here we have 2 values, the horizontal and vertical. Which one should we pass? We should pass the greater one of them. So we should pass the greater one of them, and we'll add an if statement for that. If mathf dot absolute, the absolute value of horizontal is greater than mathf dot absolute of vertical, that means we're going to pass the horizontal value because she is greater. We're going to pass the absolute value, and else that means the vertical is greater. We're going to pass the vertical value. So why we use the absolute here too? Because in the animation here in the animator, we just have a positive value. If we pass a negative value, it will not get it and will set it equal to 0. So if we save this, go to Unity, if we hit play now, as you can see, we have the animation, the character is moving and rotating, everything work very good. So yeah guys, that's it for today. In the next video we're going to make the jump and gravity mechanics, and without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.